Got some crucial knowledge that I need to pass right here. I mean, this is the hot intel right here. It's all fun and games until somebody burns their wiener. Up here, the Uppers don't mess around, and this is key information that we need to share with everybody.
Dude, no! There's a bright yellow. I'm already creepy enough. I don't need to make it worse. I already scared children enough as it is.
We rolled into our campsite last night and had to set up in the pouring rain, so we were ready for a good night's rest. The next day, we were informed of a beautiful hike by the campsite, and we decided to check it out.
I think we go that way.
I think we get it right.
Yeah.
River Trail to Upper Falls. So always
I think this supersedes that because of the improvement.
Gotcha.
You would think that some overlanders could read a map.
It's this way. Which way do you want to go?
Your pain, let it all go. Close your tired eyes. Sleep for a little while. Just put your guitar down. Down and it's okay. Play it safe. Your mistakes, let them all go. Your broken dreams, your high hopes. Love so delicate. Life is sometimes strange. Sometimes it takes a big rain to feel.
We enjoyed ourselves so much at the lower falls that we decided to check out the upper falls.
Sometimes it takes a big rain. Sometimes it takes a big rain. Fill your ears with a country silence. Fill your heart with a sound.
So if you were going to kayak this fall, the line that you would want to take, if you're looking at this waterfall, from the far left, we're going to come all the way over where the spout is, yep, right there, and we're going to come all the way, and not here, but actually right here, and you're going to want to run that line right through there, and you want to tuck tight against the boat, and you will surface somewhere right in here.
We are at the Chiquamanon Falls. It's kind of hard to say, but we just hiked and went to, or just went to the lower falls as well, but this is called the Upper Falls, and it's the brown color from the tannin from the cedar trees in the water. And actually, for some reason, I feel like the water is warm here, and I know it's not, but I feel it coming. I don't know why, but pretty awesome walk down here. I would, every time I say something, it's like my favorite thing, but this is definitely my favorite so far.
We decided to take some trails to our next route, and that's when we first started having problems. The Cruiser spends most of its life on trails, and it performs optimally. But sometimes older vehicles can present unforeseeable problems.
I need a pair of channel locks. Or not
One
channel
thing no
lock,
one
vice
anticipated were the Mosquitoes. They were relentless. They antagonized us nearly the entire trip and became known as the mutant mosquitoes of Michigan.
So is it working for you? So far, I don't want to shear it off because then we're really have that.
The Cruiser blew our rear shock bushing, which in turn made the shock separate from the axle.
It's too far to the back. Okay, so I'm gonna go put this stuff away. Back up in there.
All good?
I mean, as good as it's gonna get till we get to where I can get a new shock on it. But you know, a little too much weight for right now. Probably move the trailer to another vehicle and help.
We switched the trailer over to Scott's rig, and despite the Cruiser's condition, decided to press on.
We are driving in this area with a lot of burnt down trees. It was actually really beautiful, but we get out to, well, Tommy gets out and some others to move some branches that were on the path. And the next thing I know, I hear a snap and Tommy like bangs to the ground. I run out of the car to see if he's okay. I just see blood on his face and I can tell it's gonna be a pretty good shiner later. But I wanna make sure he was alive and okay. So I was like, are you okay? And at first nothing, and are you okay? And he opened his eyes and he said, did you get that on camera?
Well, we were walking through the woods and Bigfoot came out of nowhere. I climbed on his back, I started punching on Bigfoot. He started hitting back. Ah! So what really happened is we were clearing trees from the trail and we were pushing branches out, and I went to help with one, and it was old, deadfall. And so about the time that I started to push, or that they were pushing, it snapped. And when it broke, it caught me in the side of the face right here. Yep.
One of the best parts of overlanding and travel in general is finding hidden gems, and the Crisp Point Lighthouse ended up being a hidden gem for us.
So this is a garter snake, very common on the East Coast, really common all over the U.S. There's a little bit of variance for him. Do you guys know how to tell that what is a poisonous snake versus non-poisonous in the U.S.? There's two different ways. Okay, first you look at their little eyeballs. What is shape is his eyeball?
Circle.
It's a circle. So if a snake in the U.S., if their eyes are circles, they're generally not poisonous. If they are vertical, like a slit, like a cat eye, that means they're venomous and we don't want to mess with them, right? And then the other is the shape of their head. He has an oval or a spoon-shaped head, and it's the same thing on when you look at a venomous snake. It'll look like a diamond because they're pit
like
vipers.
A copperhead.
Yeah, exactly, just like a copperhead. So this little guy, he's probably about a year old, just basing on length, maybe a year and a half. He's catching you know, little bugs and little lizards and things like that. So he was crawling right along the walkway there. You guys want to touch him? So when you rub him, make sure you rub along his scales. If you go back, it actually can cause a little discomfort to him, okay? All right, go ahead. All right, yeah. All right, Beth, I need you to be a hero.
I will not do it. I'm sorry.
Beth.
Okay.
There you go.
Both hands? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay, I don't think I like you.
So my last thing that we're going to do with him is this.
No, Tommy! Oh my God, no.
All right. And he likes his little home here, so we're just going to set him right back down. Go the other way. There he goes. Right there.
Hey guys, here we are at the mouth of the Big Two-Hearted River, just off of Lake Superior. This place is just simply breathtaking. The views are fantastic, and it's my favorite short story by Ernest Hemingway, The Big Two-Hearted River. It's really cool, really awesome short story, and if you dig a little bit deeper and unpack the short story, he's actually talking about his way of dealing with the effects of the war. In modern days, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder. But Hemingway was working through some stuff, and the big Two-Hearted River afforded him the ability to just get out there and get away from it all and kind of decompress from some of the things that he saw, you know, overseas during the Great War back in the day. But here we are. It's just breathtaking. Fantastic.
This is the mouth of the Two-Hearted River. Bill just told me a really cool story about this place. Shame we don't get to stay here longer because it's really nice here. That water is so clear.
When it came time to link up with the bowl team, communications are really spotty up there as far as cell phones, so I made the executive decision to try and leapfrog them. And I ended up in Grand Marais waiting for them. And good thing I actually was there because we had good cell phone service, because after a few hours of not much contact with the team, I got a phone call from Scott saying that they'd been having a little too much fun in a mud puddle and that we had a broken shock.
I need you to pick up .3 brake fluid.
All right.
If there is a place in town where, you know, even a shop that you could go to, like a, I don't know, even a repair shop, and see if they have any help.
Old shock. I just need a bottom rear shock bushing off of anything.
A bottom rear shock bushing off of pretty much anything.
Any truck.
It's for an 80 series Land Cruiser.
All right. Yeah.
So, if they can
get the brake.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
If they, I mean,
I can get the brake fluid.
Okay, you can get the brake fluid.
And I'll check. There's a hardware store here. I don't know what they have, but I'll see.
I have an Old Man Emu L shock, if that helps. But pretty much most truck shocks, we can make it work. We can always whittle out the inner diameter, or even, you know, as long as it's bigger, we can make it smaller.
Okay.
So, like I said, the goal is that state park area. If we get there and there's no cell phone service, one of us will be out in front of it waiting for you.
Okay.
This is the very first time we've had service all day, so if I have service, I'll call you back in a little while, okay?
Sounds good. I'll see you, or talk to you soon.
Okay, see ya.
Awesome.
Bye.
Yeah, as long as he gets something close, we can make it work.
Okay.
But I was able to hop on the bike, go back down towards Newberry. I was able to find a mechanic that was open. I pulled an old bushing off just a shock he had laying there, and I was able to bring it up to the guys and meet up with them in the campground afterwards. Pull into the campground, and the lady at the office clearly knew what group I was going to, so she pointed me in the direction of the team. They'd gotten there about half an hour earlier, I believe, and they were just getting camp set up. So I come pulling in and able to hand Tommy the parts so he could get working on the cruiser, and just, it was awesome. I mean, as soon as I pulled up, dinner was getting ready to be served. Everybody's just sitting around talking about the day, talking about the lighthouses, talking about the stuff that I missed. But it was good just to see that the guys, they were there, they were getting settled in, having a good night, and getting relaxed for the evening.
This entire trip, it was important that our bellies were full and we always had the next meal taken care of. Beth and Angela did an incredible job making sure a bunch of overlanders didn't get hangry. Meals ranged from simple home cooking to divine trailside gourmet. The ladies know how to cook large scale, and they brought the right equipment to do so. Time together around the campfire discussing your day became vital for us. It was so rewarding to unwind and socialize after a long day of adventure.
So got up a little early this morning, about 6:30, 6:45. We got the bushing that Scott Bruker brought in for us on the bike. It was an old bushing. It didn't quite fit interior diameter wise, but we were able to kind of cut that around. We're gonna need to cut this other bushing. This one is pressed in.
I'm just gonna throw this on to keep it from popping off.
I've got some. I'll get it. What's in my drawer right there?
Luckily Scott had this bolt.
Yeah.
It's not grade 8, so it won't take a ton of kill. But it'll work. All right, off to make that hole bigger. I cut that around, get it slid into the shock. It does keep the shock from moving. 2 washers, and I think we're going to be good to go, at least to finish the trip. You know, it's always nice to carry spare stuff, spare parts. I don't often carry spare bushings, so this was a score for us, not having to limp into town.
Running out, how could you think I don't know? I've been around, but never somewhere this cold. You take away you want, but it's never, I'm never enough.
Okay guys, hey, we're up here in Grand Marais. We're at the outfitter store here with Kim and Kay Lee, and it's very interesting. All of us, in regards to the adventure travel, we like to get on the mountain bikes, we like to strap on a pack and go hiking, mountaineering, whitewater boats, so we like to stop in at these outfitter stores. And we popped in, and the first thing that caught my eye was the Recon paddle on the wall. Coming from a Recon background, I noticed that, and then started talking to Kim here and talking about her husband, who's a CW03 in the Marine Corps, retired, and here we are, just a small world.
Enjoying our time here in Grand Marais. The rain finally stopped. It's been a very, very wet summer, so you guys are in for some mud adventures on your travels up here.
We found that thus
yeah,
far.
yeah, we got, I believe, 5 inches 2 days ago.
5 inches
is what they're saying. So
yeah, some of the trails that we hit, you know, on our journey west out here, there were some deep puddles on some of the back
been muddy,
trails.
but that's what you guys like,
That's what we came here for.
So, well, you're gonna get it. Grand Marais, well, it has an interesting heritage. It was a logging town, whereas as you get further west, you're gonna find more of the mining.
Okay.
And so you're gonna find more Finns. This was typically German logging was what built this town. And at one point, this town had, what, like 10,000 people. Yeah. Now we're down to 350 people. 350 is our year-round residents, and of course tourism is a big part of our town. 4 seasons of fun. We have a great summer, a bay, Lake Superior, of course. But in the winter, we have a big ice climbing festival. We just had this last weekend the Seaplane Splashin'. So we typically get about 30 pilots from around the country that will land in the bay, and they have a competition, what have you. We have a huge dog sled race here, the UP200. Grand Marais is the turnaround, so it's a big event. Cool. And actually the Splashin' and the sled dog race are my favorites. Yeah. And almost every weekend there's something. Next weekend is the fishing tournament, and we'll get boats in from all over, and I believe the prize is like $3,000. So it's a very competitive fishing tournament. Nice. And it's just a lot of fun.
Shouldn't be made to feel this way, wanting something real. Learning I can't let go. Skyfalls, you don't know. Life's got me hooked on your false hope. Loving you is.
The team decided to push on to Munising, Michigan.
All right, so we're here in Munising, Michigan. Is that how you say it? Yep. Okay. We're here at Rome Automotive. We were told to check these guys out. Several people had written in and told us about them. And then the other day we busted a bushing on the 80 series, did a trail fix, and actually we were at Crisp Point Lighthouse yesterday, and one of the locals that was out there said, hey, come check out Rome Automotive. They'll probably have everything you need. And sure enough, we show up and these guys are here. We'd seen a little bit about them online. TJ is the owner, and so he's from Rome Automotive. You know, what are you guys about? How long you been in business? And
well, we started the shop about 7 years ago, but in 2012 we started the brand Rome, and just to promote adventure and getting out. And you know, we've lived the lifestyle our whole lives, and we enjoy doing it. So we thought, you know, try to spread the word and get more awareness, because up here a lot of the tourism is overlanding, and you know, a lot of the locals aren't as into it. So we've really kind of brought that market to the area.
That's awesome.
You know, kind of had fun with it. And the shop is our outlet to incorporate it into the vehicles, which is
right on.
What we really love to do.
So they've got some really, really cool vehicles up here. If you look over my shoulder here, they've got a cab over, they've got a Defender 110, they've got an old Jeep Willys, we got a newer Tacoma that's built up back here. And you know, as soon as we came in, these guys came out and started chatting with us, and they've got what we need. Really, really nice guys, and we really appreciate you guys helping us out.
Absolutely.
So, you know, if you guys are up here and you're in the Upper Peninsula and something happens, you need something, I'd say definitely stop in here. But I'd also just stop in here just to say hi and meet TJ, meet the rest of the crew, because they've been very welcoming.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Beth. Happy birthday to you. All right.
After asking friends local to Michigan, they recommended Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. They said it was a must-see. It has 15 miles of beautiful sandstone and cliffs that reach up to 200 feet. These rocks have been naturally sculpted, carving out beautiful shallow caves and arches that provide some amazing scenery from a boat or a kayak. We love having Matt along on the trip. He is a vital part of keeping us grounded and not taking each other too seriously. Watch out, ladies, he's single.
After the Pictured Rock tour, the team decided to push on. By now, we had reached the midpoint of our journey, and we were absolutely blown away by the Upper Peninsula's beauty.
Right past there is a road that goes up a hill to the right. You take the first right and you can see like a big pole barn. That's the trailhead for the Milkamanon. That's where they start the, it's a race called the Margie Gessick. Yep. So that's where they started at.
So I'm going to go back down to Hollow Lake Road?
Hollow Lake Road, yep.
Okay. And then take that, yep, turn right on Hollow Lake.
Yep. You guys got pretty good trucks that can go through. There's one really bad mud hole. Oh, but you should be able to get through there, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, this way gets bad after a while.
Appreciate that. Well, we kind of like bad, but yeah. How deep do you think that mud hole is?
Well, you're gonna come right back around, back out to this road anyway, out to 550. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, how deep do you think it is? Because then we can go through some pretty deep stuff.
I wouldn't go through with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Maybe a long night.
All right, so that guy gave us some information. He said there's some, the trail gets kind of washed out a little bit up here. So we're gonna just go ahead and push and see what we find.
10-4, sounds good.
Despite losing daylight, the team decided to push on to find a campsite. After cruising along the trail for a bit, we found the mud hole the man told us about. And we decided to let Tim challenge it in the brute.
what our problem
right there,
is.
that's what it was.
We're freaking plowing.
Well, you guys didn't say where the smallest trails to the bus.
So I would cut driver and then move to where Angela is, right in there.
That's pretty.
Or over here.
No,
Move over here.
go up on the high side there. I can get around that. And I'll move forward.
Yeah, you're clear. It's all right.
Come straight towards one. All right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you are half buried. No, you're half buried on a 37 up front. All that mud is pushed against the bank. So let's do this. Yeah, let's get you in reverse and see if you can't hop it a little bit. And come my way. My way. My way. My way. Yeah, my. Yeah, come on. Work. Hey, that way. Go, go. So here's what we can do. We can lay down some recovery boards behind the rear wheel, get them back, and then potentially change the line. Well,
Yeah, you go higher.
yeah, if you can get up farther to the right, I think you're going to be in good shape.
I think we need to go back probably 3 feet and then cut it hard right.
Come up high here.
And put the driver tire basically where your foot is.
Yeah.
And the other one on that other side of the gap instead of trying to come up that.
So these will need to go behind the front tire.
Just straight, or you want me to turn?
Yeah, no, just go forward. Okay, now reverse, quick. We're gonna have to dig it.
You want me to pull forward and put the board behind it there?
Right there.
Hey Scott, I'm good over here. I can't see you.
Yeah. Just give me a minute. I gotta get it lined up.
All I could see are mosquitoes on this.
That's funny. The issue is you're in water. This is
Everybody hips and pulling.
I just gotta break some tension.
I think if we just pull back enough where we reposition it,
that's fine.
To where I put this tire up on this side, and I think the easiest, quickest solution is just to use the strap and just bump it back a little bit.
It's gonna definitely be under tension. We may want to move you.
So we're going to run a closed loop system here with 2 soft shackles, so even if it does break apart, not a big deal.
Is it not long enough?
Where you don't know yet, give us 1 second. All right, you're clean over here.
Okay, Tommy, I got it.
You got?
Got it.
Okay, good. All right, WOLP.
Okay, good. 9 tons on that one. That's pretty good. All right, everybody clear? Yeah.
don't want me to hold anything right now.
Oh, nasty. Yeah, we all look like we've been playing in poop.
There you go. Up. 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 Pull off the shovel. We recovered. Successful recovery with the mud and I don't know. A lot on me. It just started drying.
Next time on Bold Overland.
Hey man.
Oh my God.
Hey.
Boost track.
Watch
Where?
this.
No.